Welcome back. It is Sunday, April 14th in the NBA. My three best bets are on the way. What's going on, everyone? It is the final day of the NBA regular season. Every single team is in action today. My favorite picks are on the way. But first, we need to recap how we did on Friday because there were no games on Saturday, and it was magical. A 5-0 sweep, a huge and dominant day on a 7-0 run, 22-5 run stretched over the last week or so. It's been a dominant end to the regular season, and hopefully we can end this today pretty strong going into the playoffs and play-in games. So let's do a victory lap. We had Wembanyama's over in points plus assists. He hit that over in points. We had Jalen Brunson's over in assists, sweat-free. Embiid over in first quarter points, sweat-free. Barrett and Quickly, we had a same-game parlay for 15 from each of them points, and then 5 assists from Quickly. Sweaty, but we got the job done. And then our other last parlay was just a half-unit play at plus 210 odds. Trey Jones over an assist, easy. Kevin Durant, 20 points, easy. And Evan Mobley, 10 points, a sweat-free plus 210. We love that, a 5-0 sweep. You don't get many of those in the NBA season, so it was great to end. Have a great Friday, but time to go 3-0 today and dominate. I will have no added plays today. We're just going to try to go 3-0. It is the final day of the season, so a lot of teams don't really have any sort of effort in these games, so I kind of pick and choose your spots. Don't force a bet into every single game because I'm going to be honest, a lot of these games are probably going to be nasty. But without further ado, let's try to turn that 7-0 run into a 10-0 run to end the season strong. And if you are new, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, drop a like down below. Right now in Canada, there's a bunch of different sportsbook offers. If you're interested and you're in Ontario, definitely go check them out. All the details are down below. Click that link and you'll find out all of those. Go show those some love. But without further ado, you guys came here for some NBA best bets. The final day of the season, a lot of early games too. I think almost half the games started at 1, and then the other one started like 3:30. Very weird slate. Let's dive into the first one of the day. One of my favorite picks. It is Mr. Cam Thomas of the Brooklyn Nets over 3.5 assists plus 100 on Bet365. Now, of my 3 picks, this is the one whose team has no interest in winning. The Nets do not care if they win. However, Kevin Ollie has not really changed how they play Cam Thomas. He plays a ton of minutes. Mikal Bridges is the guy that's maybe not playing a lot, but they're playing Cam Thomas a good amount. And this is a good, feeler out game to see how he can run the point guard position. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, because they don't really have anyone out there that can run point except for Cam Thomas. Now, every book had this around minus 120. I personally played about minus 130. I'm not taking a 4.5 line. I almost considered laddering this one up to like 6 assists because I think you could honestly get there. Now, Cam Thomas and the Nets are on the road to face the Sixers. The Sixers have a lot of reasons to win, and I'm sure they're going to be trying hard. The Nets don't really have many, as they will be down a lot of guys, but most notably Dennis Schroeder, who will be out. Now, Schroeder typically is their point guard, but with last game, we saw without Schroeder versus the Knicks, Thomas, 41 points, 26 field goal attempts, a massive game. More importantly, though, 6 assists on 10 potential assists, and he played 37 minutes. Look, if you give me 37 minutes-ish and 10 potential assists, I'm taking this bet with any single player in the NBA because there's just too much volume there. And while Cam Thomas, he's a bona fide bucket, he's trying to score points. It's not like he's out there dishing. He's not Rajon Rondo. No, that's not the case. However, he's basically out there with a cast of crew that really can't create their own shot. I mean, Mikal Bridges maybe starts just as good as, whatever 82 game thing, but at the end of the day, he's not going to play a ton of minutes. On the same side, you've got Claxton, you got now Clowney in the starting lineup, plus Watford. These are 3 guys that really aren't, creating their own shot. And so you're going to see the ball in Cam Thomas's hands a lot. And while that will lead to some field goal attempts and a lot of them for him, at the same time, you're also going to see a team like the Sixers with Nick Nurse. They're going to be doubling, and they're probably, if they're going to double anyone, it's going to be Cam Thomas. And so if they're doubling him, maybe he can dish it down low to Claxton for an easy lob dunk or something of that nature. He can dish it to Clowney. He can do the same thing. Watford will spot up for some threes here and there. We don't really want him shooting those, but at the end of the day, I think this is a really good spot to back Cam Thomas. I think he's averaging about 3 assists on the season. And then you're asking him with basically no one else out there that will dribble the ball a ton. I really think he's got a good chance here. So give me Mr. Cam Thomas, my favorite pick of the day, arguably, over 3.5 assists. Like I said, I would ladder this one up if it wasn't the last game of the season, but I'm just going to stick to just one unit here, over 3.5 assists plus 100. I love this pick for Cam Thomas. We only need 4. It's not a big, ask. He could get that in a half, get that in honestly a quarter, but 4 if he wants to make us sweat the whole game, fine. 1 per quarter. Boom, you're there at 4. Now, my second pick is going to go to a team that needs to win, and a team that will definitely be trying, and is their starting point guard of the Los Angeles Lakers, D'Angelo Russell, over 21.5 points plus assists, minus 110 on DraftKings. If you have 22.5, you can take that. Individual line points by far is the one that I really do like. However, I've seen D'Angelo Russell have way too many games where he gets, 15 points, which his line is 15.5, but also he can chip in, 8, 10 assists. He's had like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 assists the last few games, so he's been having a lot of assists. assists, and I'm going to roll with the points because I think he could honestly have a big day. So points plus assists is I want to play D'Lo, as the Lakers are obviously trying to win. So, they're going to be in the play-in. We know that, but they're going to try to get to the 7-8 matchup instead of the 9-10. Now, in D'Lo's last game, the brother stunk. Let's be honest, he was not good. 4 points, 2 of 9 shooting, 0 for 5 from 3. I mean, it's hard to really get going when LeBron and AD combined for 73 points. Now, if they want to combine for 70-plus points, tip my cap to them. But the Pelicans, who they will face today, a very tough matchup for that. The Pelicans have really good paint defense, but also the Pelicans have Herb Jones, they have Trey Murphy, they have a bunch of different defenders. They can throw it on LeBron James, make his life difficult. If they want to pick him up all, 94 feet or whatever, go for it, because then that likely means D'Angelo Russell is bringing the ball up the court. Now, typically, we haven't backed D'Lo a ton, but I typically like to look for the spots that D'Lo should be in aggressive mode. And obviously, coming off a bad game, I expect him to be a little bit more aggressive here, especially 0 for 5 for 3. That's not D'Angelo Russell. But here's why I like the matchup. The last 10 games, the Pelicans have allowed the 5th most pull-up jump shots made per game at a pretty high clip. So they're giving up a lot of field goal attempts, pull-up jump shots, but also letting those guys make those shots. And good for us, the last 10 games, D'Angelo Russell leads the Lakers in pull-up field goal attempts and points per game via pull-up. So as I said, this is a really good spot for him to score the basketball. I really like his over 15.5 points. And honestly, he could hit this over just points alone. But I also, like I said, I like the assist too, because I think there's a chance that, he can be dishing it to guys. They can be knocking down their shots. And we think about why they give up so many pull-up jump shots. It's because, Jonas Valanciunas is going to be a guy that's going to, not really come out of the paint. He's going to camp down there. Larry Nance Jr., I don't really see him coming and hedging and doubling D'Lo, because he's going to probably have to guard Anthony Davis. And so D'Angelo Russell should be able to walk into those jump shots. He's not going to get Herb Jones on him. I don't really know who defends him defensively. Maybe we get CJ McCollum. Sign me up. But we just saw Lakers and Pelicans' most recent game in February. D'Angelo Russell took advantage of the matchup. Everyone was healthy. He had 30 points on 9 of 19 shooting. 5 assists, 9 potential assists, 9 adjusted assists. So at the end of the day, I really think this is a good spot for him. He's done really well hitting his over in points against, I think he's hit this in 3 of his last 4 with 1 miss. Points-wise, 1 miss being 14 points. And he didn't have a ton of assists in their most recent matchups against the Pelicans, but the Pelicans have been conceding a ton of assists recently. Like, you've been seeing Fox get 8, been seeing a bunch of guys. I think Draymond Green just had 11 on him. I think Steph had 5 or something like that. Either way, I really think that this is a good spot to back D'Lo. I think he'll have his open opportunities. As I said, he could hit this over in just points alone if he gets cooking, and I certainly think this is a matchup he could get things going. He should get open opportunities from the 3-point line. Also, the Pelicans give up a lot of catch and shoot opportunities too, and obviously D'Lo's one of the better catch and shoot guys that the Lakers have to offer. I mean, it's not like AD's really shooting a lot of threes. Rui, a decent catch and shoot guy, but I mean, it's Reeves and D'Lo that are the main 2 guys there. So I really like D'Angelo Russell over 21.5 points plus assists. And then my third and final play of the day, as I said, no added plays today. You can, if you want to wait for some injury reports, some late lines to come out. That's kind of what we did last year on the final day of the season, and we had a pretty good day. Today, I'm just going to stick to these 3. There's I feel like last year you had a lot of teams that maybe, I feel like they waited to the last minute to report how they were going to rule out a lot of guys, whereas this year you get a lot of guys already ruled out. Like, heck, Peyton Pritchard was a guy we backed last year on the last day of the season. His points line was like 18.5. It's 25.5 these days, which is too high for me. Last play, guy on the thumbnail, Devin Booker, over in points plus assists, which is currently 31.5, minus 115 on Bet365. Individual line, points, I really like the points, but in their most recent matchup, I'll talk about it, he had a ton of assists, which is why I'm doing points plus assists. I also like his PRA line, but I don't really want to count on D-Book to grab some rebs. So I'll just take the points plus assists. I like it at 32.5 as well. Now, why am I backing Mr. D-Book, who has kind of been up and down lately? But as I said, there's not a lot of teams that are really trying to fight for something today. The Suns are one of those teams, though. We're looking at this Suns team. If they win and the Pelicans lose, who play the Lakers at the same exact time, the Suns become the 6th seed, avoid the play-in game. So they have a lot to win here. If you could just take a first half points plus assist line, I probably would consider that for D-Book, but I think either way, I think the Lakers, if the Lakers are potentially beating the Pelicans, which are about 3-point underdogs, then you might see D-Book maybe look at the scoreboard and be like, all right, let me turn it on in the second half. But I really think this is a good spot for him. In their last matchup against the Timberwolves on April 5th, D-Book 13 points on 13 assists, 3 of 12 shooting. He only played 34 minutes. He has now played 39 or more minutes in 4 straight. Obviously, Booker didn't really shoot a ton. 12 field goal attempts, very unlike him for only 12. He has had some, high and low games where you've seen not a lot of field goal attempts for him, and I don't know if it was how the Timberwolves were playing him, but he still had 13 assists, which we love to see, and 3 for 12 shooting. As I talk about all the time, Booker, just like a guy like Jalen Brunson, very rarely do you see them have back-to-back bad games shooting the ball. And I really think he bounces back here. Obviously, this is not back-to-back bad games because he didn't just play the Timberwolves. They played, 5 or so games ago. But I think this is a spot where we see D-Book get a little bit more aggressive. The last 3 times that Booker shot 12 or fewer times, which he just shot 12 or fewer times last game for Sacramento. The next game, he shot 28, 16, and 24 field goal attempts. So, look, if you can get me D-Buck around 16 to 20 shots, I'm going to probably take this bet any day of the week because it's D-Buck. We know how talented he is. We know he can get to the free throw line. And I think this isn't the worst matchup in the world for him. I mean, he's not going to get Jaden McDaniels. He'll go out there and guard Kevin Durant. He probably gets Anthony Edwards on him. And look, Ant-Man's a good defender, but I think you'll see so many screens set for him that Rudy Gobert, who sits in drop coverage, will be in a tough spot because Rudy does not want to come out of the paint. So Buck should be able to get to his mid-range spot, which is where he wants to get. The 12 field goal attempts last game felt like more of an anomaly. In his last 4 games versus Rudy, he's had 42, 34, 36, and then 26 points plus assists. But he's attempted 23, 19, 22, and then only 12 shots. Like I said, the 12 shots is just an anomaly to me. I feel like it gets closer to the 18 to 20. This is a game, obviously, big potential. A lot of things are on the line here for the Suns. They're going to be trying to win. And I think when you're trying to win, you're going to probably let your point guard, Devin Booker, be the guy that kind of carries you. So I really like him to get it done. I know a lot of people like Bradley Beal today, and I don't hate Beal. I just don't trust that man as far as I could throw him. I think D-Book's the guy that maybe they try to get going early in this game, especially coming off, not the greatest game, only 12 field goal attempts last game. Still, got into the 25-ish territory for points plus assists, but we need more shots from him, and I think he delivers that tonight in a big, big game. Coming off that bad game against the Timberwolves, hopefully he has some added motivation here. We know D-Book is a guy that's always looking for different things to pick and choose that will get him that extra added motivation, and hopefully that's one of them. So D-Buck, my final play of the day, over 31.5 points plus assists. Points is my individual line, but when you get a guy that had 13 assists in their last matchup, kind of feel like I'm obligated to tack on those assists. So I'll tack on the assists. Hopefully it doesn't bite me because his points line is about 25.5. But D-Buck, it's been really good to us this year. We need another winner from us. But ladies and gentlemen, that was the final day of the NBA regular season. Clap it up. We're over the 40 unit mark. Hopefully we can end 3-0, go on a 10-0 run to close the year, and then I'll be back, I believe, Tuesday for some play-in games. Probably on Tuesday I'll have separate videos for each play-in game, talk about who I think wins and whatnot. So stay tuned for that. And if you want to go check out our MLB Best Bets video, that video should be posted right after this one. You can go show it some love. But it's Austin. I'm signing out. I'll see you guys back again tomorrow. Well, not tomorrow. Tomorrow if you're watching the MLB, but I'll see you guys back on probably Tuesday for some NBA Best Bets as we try to dominate the postseason, where it is arguably the hardest time to bet NBA props. But we're going to try our best and we're going to dominate it. But it's Austin. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.